All right, for my second podcast, I'm going to be talking about me and my dad's Mustangs and cars just in general. So, my dad, he's had this 1969 Mustang since he was 16, 15. It was his very first car. He got it from some dude who was fixing it up, and it didn't run yet. The reason the dude gave it to him was because, well, he died, and he wanted, and like the family wanted somebody to actually like work on it and take care of it. And they knew my dad through connections with my grandpa, and they offered it to him, and my dad said, "Yeah, but what's the price?" And they said 600 because that's all he owed left, and they didn't want to charge him anymore. So he only owed $600 left to the bank to get the car. So he pays it, he gets it, and they tow it home after getting it. And after they get it home, he plugs a new battery in, and it starts right up. So I don't know if they just didn't check anything or didn't know anything about cars, but as soon as they plugged that battery in, it worked right away. So then after that, started up the engine, and my dad's mom walks out, so my grandma, and she's like, "You did not get that for his first car," because it was a total hot rod. And she was very mad, and the dad's like, "Man, it wasn't even supposed to start." And so after that, he finally gets it, and it was his childhood car for forever. He never got rid of it. He's had it forever. And then about when they got this new house, it hasn't ran in over 16 years. So it hadn't even left the garage in 16 years. Like, they didn't move it, they set it in its place, and it stayed there. Well, about, I don't know, 7 years down the road, I was six or something, my dad starts putting a little bit more money into it. But he didn't get far. He didn't do anything he really wanted to. He got a new engine, but they scammed him on the engine. So he paid like $7,000 for this engine that's just bone stock. And they promised him a bunch of other stuff, and they didn't get it to him. So that kind of bums him out, and he quits the project for a bit because he lost so much money on it. And about a year, almost 2 years now, we've been building this car completely by ourselves. We've done wiring, we've done everything. We've touched every bolt on that car and know everything about it. And through this, my dad set a budget with my mom for it to be $25,000 to get it to how he wanted it, not including body work. So my mom agrees, and my dad's working on it, and he gets so far and everything, and then he reaches his $25,000 limit. And he talks to my mom, and she's like, "All right, you could finish the car, use whatever money you need left." And I still don't know what the remaining price was. But after all that, my dad, it's 2 years ago, about a month, not years ago, sorry. He, about a month ago, we got it starting for the first time. We had just dropped a new engine, we did transmission, and we double checked everything before trying to start it. And it started first try. It was the most exciting moment because my whole family was out there. I had a couple friends for the first start, I think. It was crazy. And that goes on, and my dad's having a blast because we just dropped this engine in that he paid like $8,000 on for it to be awesome and make a lot of horsepower. It makes almost 500 horsepower and at least 500 torque. So it's kind of insane. Later on, like now we're tuning it and getting everything involved with it. Everything's going great. The only thing we had done on that car, not by ourselves, was a tuning and the alignment for the tires, because that's just stuff you can't do on your own unless you really know. It's carbureted. It's, oh my god, it's awesome. It could probably go 160. Not that we've tested it, but we've gone 60 at 3,000 RPMs, and its peak performance is at 6,000 RPMs. So I think it's got a ways to go in speed wise. And for the interior, we did a completely new interior. We kept the 69 look of it, but we got racing seats in it, sort of racing seats in it. And everything is just brand new. It's new chrome, it's new carpet, and we did this all by ourselves. I'm so proud of it. So coming now, after we finally get it starting and stuff, I want a project car that we can work on together because I don't want to stop working on cars. My dad goes, "Okay," and he sends me out to start looking, and I start looking, and I find this one Fox body Mustang from 1982, and we go out to see it, and the guy's like, all right, he's like, I won't sell it. And he does this whole thing like, I won't sell it, just tell me what you think about it tomorrow, like I'll give you a night to sit on it. I'm like, all right, deal. So we take the night to think about it, and we're like, all right, we'll do it. It was going to be like 4,200, and it was going to make 400 horsepower. It would have been awesome. My dad's like, okay, we'll do it. So I text the dude back, and I'm like, hey, what's the deal? I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. He goes, okay, but I already have somebody else that gave me an offer, so I'll have to see if that follows through. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God. He promised us that he wouldn't do anything with it, but people don't keep their word. I guess they offered him, I don't know, even more because he told them we were thinking about it. So he screwed us over there, and then about a week to 2 to 3 go by, and I'm looking at this other car. I find this other Mustang, same year, same model, everything, but it just doesn't have the same engine. But the other one didn't run. He thought it would only take a little bit of minor repairs to get it running, and I believed him. But now that he scammed us, I don't know about that. So this new one I'm looking at, we drive all the way out to Colorado Springs to see this, like an hour and a half drive, and we get there, and this dude's like, hey, I got 2 more people coming after you, and I had 2 in front of you, like, you better give me a good offer and stuff. Like, oh yeah, okay. So we come back, we test drive it, and we give him an offer. We're like, we'll do 2,800. And he's like, man, I need at least full price with everybody coming to see. And then we're like, we'll think about it. Maybe 3,800. And he's like, okay. I think his full price was 3,800. So I think we offered like 3,500 or something. And he's like, I don't know, man, maybe. And we're offering this all in cash on hand. And later on, we're test driving it, and just some little problems started happening, and then we realized we'll need an exhaust. It'd need a new belt. There was just some AC stuff that needed work on. So we did a final offer of 2,300, and we don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, like, I don't think he had people coming, because he kept taking our lowball offers, and we just kept getting lower because we kept finding more problems with it. It's not like we were going lower to see how far he would go. It was that we were finding more problems that were going to cost money to fix. So we talk him down to 2,300, and he takes it. So we go back and we get it, and then we give him the money, and we're driving it home, and we're discovering all the tiny little problems with it. It was the blinker was also hooked up to the windshield wipers, so they would go at the same time when you hit one of them. So we took that home, we fixed that, we find out the radiator has problems, I gotta replace that, and then the water pump gasket needed replacing, the AC belt, not AC belt, just the belt in there needed replacing, then the AC unit needed replacing. It was just tiny stuff adding up, but I don't think we've still reached his full price of what we had, of what he was saying. And for 2,300 for a Mustang that ran, granted it wasn't that good, but it still ran. That's pretty good. That's going to be the end of the podcast, guys.